Magazine. I'm Kyung Kim. Today we are going to talk about what a phobia is and how we get it over and how a phobia affects our life at the base of the survey. Maybe you should listen carefully to this one if you have a phobia. Good morning, Professor Gina. Good morning, Dr. Sam.
Good morning,
Good morning, Hyung-hee.
At the beginning of LAT Magazine, we are going to watch a short film about phobia.
What is a phobia? A fear and avoidance of objects or situations. Exposure to this object or situation may elicit a panic reaction. This fear is strong enough to interfere with your normal routines, work, or relationships. They can cause you significant distress. Phobias affect people of all ages, from all walks of life and in every part of the country. The National Institute of Mental Health has reported that 5.1% and 12.5% of Americans have phobias. The most common phobias are arachnophobia, fear of spiders; social phobia, fear of being evaluated negatively in social situations; aerophobia, fear of flying; agoraphobia. Agoraphobia involves intense fear and avoidance of any place or situation where escape might be difficult or help unavailable. Claustrophobia, fear of being trapped in small confined spaces; acrophobia, fear of heights; emetophobia, fear of vomit; carcinophobia, fear of cancer; brontophobia, fear of thunderstorms; necrophobia, fear of death or dead things.
Dr. Sam, how do I whether I have phobia or not?
Thank you, Hyung-hee. Phobias are emotional and physical reactions to fear objects or situations. Symptoms of phobia include difficult to breathe, dizziness, sweating, nausea, dry mouth, feeling sick, shaking, heart palpitations, inability to speak or think clearly, a fear of dying, becoming mad or losing control, a sensation of detachment from reality, or even an anxiety attack. At my clinic, people who has phobia might say, Doctor, my heart started beating so fast, it feels like it's going to explode. My throat closes, and I cannot breathe. My hands start sweating. I get so dizzy I have to hold on furniture. I know I'm going to die. I want to run, but I don't know where. If you have those symptoms, when you meet a specific object or situation, you might have phobia. Kyung-hee, do you have a phobia?
Yes, I absolutely do. I have a pet phobia. Even though my parents had raised dogs in their house since I was young, I had never touched them and come close to them. One day, I visited my brother-in-law's house. There was a little dog in his house. My family-in-law knew I had a pet phobia, so the dog was left outside for me. By the way, 30 minutes later, we were eating and talking to each other at the time. Suddenly, the dog was running with wagging its tail and it came to me. I was almost shocked at the moment and jumped on the dining table and screamed and cried and cried. Everybody was surprised at my reaction and my face turning a deathly pale. Especially, my daughter was so frightened by my reaction that she opened her eyes wide and she couldn't say anything and then cried. I was so sorry for everybody, but I couldn't help it. It was inevitable. Oh, Professor Tina, I know you did a survey about phobia. Can you tell me about your survey?
The idea of my survey is about, in general population, what kind of phobias do they have and how their phobias affect their life.
Oh, it sounds like interesting. Now, I'm curious about how many people have phobias and what kind of people will develop phobias. How does phobia affect our life?
Phobias affect people of all ages, from all walks of life, and both genders. Our sample is 16 people. We have 4 students, 2 doctors, 1 engineer, 1 artist, 1 businesswoman, 2 teachers, 3 housewives, and 2 waitresses. 56% is female and 44% is male. They are between 10 and 40, but we have 2 big groups. They are 20 to 30 years old and 31 to 40 years old. Let us have some insight about the most common phobias. The most common phobias are people who are afraid of heights, closed space, spiders, speaking in public, flying, and leaving house. Let me tell you what kind of phobias people have. 31% of people don't have any phobias, but 19% of people afraid of spiders, 13% of people afraid of flying, another 13% of people afraid of cockroaches, 6% of people afraid of speaking in public, 6% of people afraid of dog, 6% of people afraid of leaving house, and one more 6% of people afraid of heights. And I asked 2 people which phobias would be the worst to live with. People said fear of closed space is the worst one, but speaking in public, leaving house, fear of insects are also high ranked. I asked them why do they have phobias. According to the survey, lack of life experience is the biggest reason. The other is not used to it, lack of social skill, dowry, ugly, worry about dying, and lack of controlling of mind. Many people ignore it when their friends tease them about their phobias, but also some people confront them. Some people feel sad, depression, and embarrassed. My last question is, how do they react to people who have phobias that they don't have? Most people understand them, but also said they will respect them. Some people want to know the reason. Some people don't care about them, feel sorry, laugh at them, teases them, and feel pity to them.
Thank you, Professor Dina. Dr. Sam, can you tell me why we have phobia? How can I get over my pet phobia? And what solution do we have to cure our phobia?
The cause of a phobia is a combination of biological and environmental facts. People who develop phobias from an unpleasant experience of feared objects in childhood. The unpleasant situation is stored in person memory. Bring on the fear again when the memory is triggered. For some people, the onset of a phobia may be triggered by a stressful life event or object. Talking about treatment. For phobias, first, the best treatment for phobias is a psychological treatment called cognitive behavioral therapy. The cognitive element focus on the thoughts about the phobia. For example, with the anxiety associated with phobia and the person feels dizzy, they may become alarmed and start thinking, I'm dying. The idea of this treatment is to replace this with a more realistic thought, such as, it's just dizziness and I'm going to be okay. The second is exposure therapy. Exposure therapy is part of the cognitive behavioral therapy that focuses on behavior rather than thoughts. Exposure therapy involves starting to confront, face the fear and stopping avoiding it. When exposed to the fear object or situation, the person is taught to tolerate their high levels of anxiety. People learn to control their fear by learning gradually during exposure. For example, for some people with a bird phobia, this will start with looking at the pictures of birds, then move on to handling bird feather, then helping to clean out a friend's bird cage. The last is handling the bird. The other type of therapy is such as counseling. Some people find it useful to discuss how they adjust their lifestyle to avoid the feared objects or situations. However, it's not really a treatment. The next one is relaxation training. It's just an exercise to reduce symptoms of anxiety. However, a relaxation training alone is not enough to treat a phobia. The next one is hypnosis. Some people may find this helpful, but there is no scientifically evidence that it is an effective treatment for phobia. The last one is medicines. Medicine are rarely used to treat phobias, only if the person has associated a condition like depression. This may be treated with benzodiazepines to ease symptoms in the initial stages. Therefore, drug treatment alone is usually not enough to treat phobias. Besides, medicine can only be taken for a short period because drugs can lead to independence.
I want to thank you very much for talking with us, Professor Gina and Dr. Sam. And thank you for watching LIT Magazine, and have a nice day.